Welcome back to the channel. I sincerely hope that all my viewers are enjoying these presentations and will also appreciate my need for the choice of words required to escape the channel provider's system that is constantly on the lookout for content that falls into their punitive measures category. I need to insert a quick subscribe message right now at the beginning, and it'll be repeated in my closing statements. It is vitally important that, should you agree with this message, you encourage others to subscribe, and in doing so, keep this channel alive. There isn't much time left for us to get the real news out to the world. The censorship beast is gathering momentum. So with that being said, I will proceed to explain in today's video why the time is extremely urgent for our message to reach the many who are still relying on government news providers. News providers who are intent on doing the will of the enslavement agenda that is being imposed upon the freedoms of our dying world of normalcy. The Wicked Enslavement Forum is accelerating its agenda of enslavement policies, and while the time frame for the completion of its wicked agenda, which is openly advertised on its website as 2030, the implementation of the plan has already begun. What most people don't know is that within the year 2023, the agenda will already have reached a point where the ordinary citizen will be powerless to do anything to avert the 2030 deadline. While normal citizens are wondering why this is all happening and what could possibly be done about the enslavement agenda, will have already dealt its death blow to humanity's freedom. I won't mince my words here. We will most certainly have reached the point of no return when the world institution, the one that gathers health-related directives, will be given the go-ahead to dictate humanity's health-related future. By the time this video airs, today is the 26th of February 2023, this directive will already have been written into law. So the implementation of this wicked move is tomorrow. I mention this because I don't think all is at this point lost. This wicked organization will have a license to control the next series of pathogenic health issues to face human existence. I'm being deliberately cryptic here, so I trust you will get my drift. If you've been watching world news, this new charter will almost certainly have been in the highlights. There are several current government policy announcements that should trigger a red light of warning for all freedom-loving world denizens. One of these warnings is the intention to implement a time-graded municipality. I use the word time-graded municipality here, but I know viewers will know the type of municipality I'm actually referring to. If you look at the video's background inserts, you will see what I can't say in actual words, and I trust you'll put two and two together. In the implementation of these time-gradated municipalities will lead to a gross reduction in everyone's freedom of movement. The next implementation might be legislated punishments for transgressing these parameters. And it's likely that anyone doing so might incur the loss of certain life support benefits, perhaps. That Orwellian society we once thought was pie in the sky is approaching at a rapid rate. In the short space of a year, we have seen the most prominent warning signs of this coming change. We have seen government measures that have inflicted an untenable high rate of inflation upon all citizens. Measures that will drain all saving plans tied to any form of digital currency, except crypto, perhaps. And this will not happen overnight, but over the next 5 years or so. A citizen may avoid some of the loss by converting to gold, either in the form of shares, bullion, or coins, But even this is not a certain prevention of loss. I researched this area of investment, came across a publication by AU Bullion or O/A Gold Bullion Inc. It has been lurking in the statutes for many years, and it's about a decree that pertains to the ownership of bullion. I speak of the North American governments, who in accordance with this said statute will be able to confiscate any privately held forms of gold in a state of emergency. This statute has not been used recently, but given the changes we have seen in our society, we have recently undergone and are still undergoing, the likelihood of this happening is very strong. The insert we will read applies to North America, but it will also apply to many other countries and continents. Let's read the headline. Under the executive order of the President, issued on the 5th of April 1933, all persons are required to deliver on or before May 1, 1933, all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank branch or agency. Can your gold be seized by the government? The answer is yes, if you are storing precious metals at home. Within the last century, governments in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and many other countries have done this. Some people who own gold or other hard metal assets keep their investments at home, thinking that it would be practically impossible for the government to take these items away. There's a paragraph for Canadians that assures its citizens have never been the victims of such an action. But the way things are going in Canada at the current time, I would not hesitate to assume the worst. I'm not saying this will happen, but I believe the possibility of governments invoking it is very strong. My dear friends, I feel an urgency to make the need for preparedness a very strong priority. I am calling on everyone who has watched my channel to consider what needs to be done at a personal level in the short term. You may already be privy to all that I've shared, and if you are, I hope that your efforts to educate the initiated will be doubled. If you're hearing this news for the first time, then maybe it's time for you to do your own research on the matter and decide what you should do on a personal level. While we should all be sensitive to the mindsets of those we speak to, it is time for us to take the proverbial bull by the horns and reach out, even if it's rejected. My trust in whatever the universe has planned for this particular time frame. In that trust there is no fear. I also deal with the rising anger and propensity to lash out, all in the cause of negating any form of fear that the negative polarities will be able to feed on. I also hope that this message does not come over to viewers as completely negative, because what it does is inform us that the time has arrived to become more informed about what lies ahead. My trust is in the message of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. We will never let you down. Might this be your consoling grace as well, and cause you to continue in following the prime directives of the new earth, those reality-attracting thoughts that we learned of in a previous video. Well, that's all we have time for on this expose of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101. But before we close, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. It is vitally important that should you agree with this message, you encourage others to subscribe, and in doing so keep this channel alive. There isn't much time left for us to get the real news out to the world. The censorship beast is gathering momentum. Should you like to make a comment, you can go to the website listed at the bottom of the screen and use the comment section. Thank you for watching my channel. And be sure to catch up with the latest material on the next viewing of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101.